Very warm welcome to dear all participants. Today we are on webinar on online education and MOOCs. So we all welcome to you all participants and welcome to you our resource persons too. And welcome to the this webinar. And here I want to say there is a comment box is there. If you have the any comments, any feedbacks or any suggestions, you can write there your comments in comment box. And in comment box you can write your question answer also. After the all resource person speeches, you will be asked questions to the resource persons. You just write resource person name there and dash your questions after all speeches. So here with starts with the our resource person's speech. At the here we have the three resource person, dynamic resource persons are there. Our first resource person is Dr. Rajendra Singh Jadeja, sir. Very warm welcome, sir, to you, sir. Our other resource person is Dr. Kamaljit Lakhtaria, sir. Welcome to you also, sir. And our another resource person is Dr. Neelam Panchal, ma'am. Welcome to you also, ma'am. So we are start about Mr. Rajendra, Dr. Rajendra Singh Jadeja, sir. Dr. Rajendra Singh Jadeja, sir, is currently working as an associate professor of inorganic chemistry in the Faculty of Science, the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. He has more than 15 years of research and teaching experience of UG and PG level. He has successfully guided 5 research scholars and currently 4 are working for their PhD degree in chemistry and in environmental science. He has published more than 70 research papers in the Journal of National and International Repute. He is also author of a book and several books chapter. Toasquez visiting scholar. British Ecology Society visiting fellowship are awarded to him for doing advanced research. He is also active in administrative work and is Associate Director of Environmental Studies, Department of same university and Dean of Students of the Faculty of Science. He has also experience in developing and executing MOOC courses for undergraduate students of chemistry on Swayam platform. His area of research internet includes coordination and bio inorganic chemistry and environmental chemistry and marine pollution ecology. He is also associated with Indian Chemical Society ICS, Kolkata and Indian Council of Chemists ICC, Agra, and currently holding a position of Honorable Secretary of Vadodara chapter of the ICS and also council member 2020 to 2022 of the ICS. Very warm welcome, Dr. Jadeja, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for the kind words of introduction. Participants, the topic which I will be talking on today in this webinar is Swayam, the Indian platform for the MOOC courses. So before we go to this topic, let me brief you about the higher education sector, because all of us are working in the higher education sector. In India, if you see today, we have a more than almost 1,000 universities by now, and equal almost 45,000 colleges by today are there in the India. This is for catering the need of the the young birds who are having almost 36.6 million students, out of which almost 80% are at UG level, and among this 30 million, or roughly 29 million, 19.2 million are the boys and 17.4 million are girls. To cater the need of education of these young guys, we have a roughly 1.5 million teachers, or you can say higher education faculty. So we all are among that 1.5 million, out of which roughly 58% are male teachers and 42% is the female teacher. So this is what is the roughly the scenario of the higher education sector in India. There is one word called GER. I don't know how many of you are aware about it. It is gross enrollment ratio. All of you may be aware that the school education or primary education is almost compulsory in India, and almost all children goes to primary education, but then there is a dropout ratio, and because of the dropout ratio, what happened, the number of children who could join the elementary education cannot go for the high school education, and similarly the students who are going for a higher education are also very limited. If you talk about yourself only, when you join the school, you will find that many of the classmates which you had it in primary school, they leaves behind, and you grow further, go to the high school. Again in high school, some of the students couldn't go to the higher education in the colleges, and so on and so forth. So what I mean to say, the picture is very, very scary when we talk about the dropout ratio, and when we talk about the gross enrollment ratio. The national ratio, I mean the national average of gross enrollment ratio is roughly around 25%, and so is for the state of Gujarat, where all of us are sitting here. If you talk about the overall picture in India, there are some states like Chandigarh, which is a union territory, having a gross enrollment ratio is around 54%. On the other side, we have a states like Bihar, where the GER is just 14%. This is one thing, that we have a very less GER. In the previous slides already I have shown you, if you compare this GER ratio with the developing worlds like America and Russia, you will find that they are far, far more ahead of us. Even China is also having a very high GER compared to India. In terms of GER, we are almost at 131 number out of 167 countries. So what I mean to say, one thing is we have a very less GER ratio. That is to say, just 25% means if 100 students are joining, the primary education, out of which only 25 could get, access to higher education. So we do not have, even we are not giving an equal opportunity, or we are not able to, join the students into the mainstream. All of them were, getting the high school pass. On the other side, we have a so many number of universities. When we talk, we have a 1,000 universities, but still, if you talk in terms of the resources we have, resources we do not have enough number. The reason is, if you just think about, if this GER ratio is just get increased from 25% to say 1% more, say 26%, then we will have a more number of students. And in that case, do we have a enough infrastructure to cater the need of a quality education to them? There is one model called brick and mortar model, according to which in the next 20 years, almost every month we will have 6 new universities, and 270 colleges will be adding up into this higher education sector.
So,
If this is, yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah,
Please scrolling your PPT, sir.
I'm scrolling.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. Yes, sir.
So if you talk about the higher education sector, as I told you, the picture is very, very scary, because the gross enrollment ratio is just, we have 25%, and if it will increase by few percent, then probably we will have a more number of students will be joining to the higher education sector, and because of that, what will happen, we will not have enough resources to cater the need of the higher education to these young birds. So probably the technology can help it out in this situation, because the technology is the only solution for to cater the need of the students who are joining to the higher education. We have a positive ecosystem. If we talk about India, all of you are agree with me that we have a very young population, and not only that, many of them are using the smartphones. Almost roughly 60 crore smartphones users were there, and the number has increased during the lockdown. Almost every one of them have an internet access, and there was a digitalization in India, and because of the smartphone, users have increased, not only because the internet was cheaper. If you compare, I was reading few months back, the internet is almost cheapest in India, if you compare the internet rates compared to the other even SAARC countries or other developed countries, we will find that the internet rates are very, very cheaper. And especially with the birth of the geo, internet were very cheap. Earlier it was not very much accessible to the every corner of the our country, but now probably with the geo and other revolutions, the things are much, much easier. So what I mean to say, if you think about, on the one side, if we want to increase the gross enrollment ratio, on the other side we have a very young populations who have the you can say millennium generation, and they are all having smartphone access, having internet and others. So therefore the picture is not very difficult. I mean to say, if we talk in terms of our country, we will have a chance to have a technological educations, or the technology can provide a solution to this. All of you have heard this word MOOC. MOOC is an acronym for the Massive Open Online Courses. In fact, this is what we called it, an online education. There is a difference between the online education and the MOOC. In fact, the MOOC is the complete course in itself. What we have in an offline courses, same we have a online courses, and in online courses also, like our offline courses, we have many things to understand the complete pedagogy of the MOOC, and what are the types of MOOC, what exactly the components of the MOOCs, and what are the quadrants, etc. in the MOOCs. I think the next speaker, next to next speaker, will be speaking more in detail about the MOOC courses. So I am just keeping at this juncture. But let me tell you, MOOC courses are like any university courses which we have during our offline education. Now, MOOC courses can be for all type of UG students as well as PG students, as well as even the school children also can take up the MOOC courses. It's not like that MOOC courses are only for taking degrees and others. Sometimes the MOOC courses can be on cooking as well as dancing, whereas one can learn throughout at any juncture. Learning has no age. Anybody can learn at any time, and that's why the MOOC courses will be appropriate for any age, any gender participants. To run the MOOC courses, one require a platform. Prior, if you see, these are the some names of the MOOC providers, or rather the MOOC platform. I can talk in this way. If you want to catch a train or bus for particular destination, you need to go to the railway station, and there will be a platform on which you can take up a train or bus for various destination. Same is like that. To run the MOOC courses, we require a platform, and those platforms, if you read these names, they are all the foreign platforms, be it a Coursera or Iversity or EDX or Ellison. All these words, or Udemy, all these words are sounds like in foreign platforms. And in fact they are because the MOOC is not very recent. It was just 2012 or 13 when the MOOC courses started provided by the foreign universities, and therefore these were all the MOOC providers or MOOC platforms. If you see the market distributions, roughly 36% of the courses offered on this online courses offered, MOOC courses offered, is by the Coursera, because it was capturing. This is 2014-15 data. I don't have the recent data, but then if you see this data at that time, the Indian platform was not there in the scenario. This is the data before the birth of the Indian platform. But then at that time, if you can see, the Coursera was roughly having 36%, EDX was 16%, and Iversity like 2.2, Udacity is 2.4, and so on and so forth. So if you see here, the major chunk, I mean the major courses, major MOOC courses was used to be provided by the Coursera, which was capturing almost half of the market. Many of this EDX or Coursera or Udacity, which were associated with very much renowned foreign universities, of course many of them are doing this free of cost. I mean to say, offering the courses almost free of cost. But then, as to run the courses and to things, they need to charge the money, and therefore partially they are now started taking the money. Particularly if you wants to, you have a credit or certificate, yes, for learning purpose it can be free sometime, but whenever you want to have a, either certificate or credit transfer, etc., then for that probably you need to pay to these institutions. So this is what is the scenario MOOC platforms prior to the birth of an Indian platform for the MOOC. As I talked into the beginning, in India, we had a shortage of the qualified faculty and we have a resource crunch. Just think about that. Even if we have a today 25% GER ratio, and we have a few millions of students coming to the higher education, just think if 1% will be increase in the GER, if government decides that okay, we will have an quality education for all, but then do we have a qualified faculty? Because as I told you, today we are in 1.5 million number, but they are also not sufficient enough. If you go to the colleges, particularly in the rural India, the picture is very, very scary, because we do not have a enough qualified teachers. If teachers are there, they are not specialized in particular area. And particularly after the birth of the CBCS, what we called it a choice based credit system, we have a shortage of specialized teacher. If say for example, I may be a good at one particular topic, but my specialization will not sufficient enough to offer particular courses in CBCS, and therefore we have a shortage of qualified faculty as well as resource crunches. We do not have enough infrastructure, particularly physical setup, etc., to cater the need of this large mass scale, and therefore probably the MOOCs seems to be a viable solution in this particular situation. But as I told you, we do not had anything MOOC platform which is desi platform, or rather you can say the one which is Indian origin. So that is how we were lacking in the MOOC courses as well as the platform to hold these MOOC courses, and that is how the Swayam then took came into the picture. In fact, the birth of the Swayam and other digital initiatives were started with the very prestigious project of the government of India, and the name of this project was NMEICT, that is the National Mission on Education through ICT. In fact, through this particular very prestigious project with which I had been associated for long years, much digitalization or much like revolutionary things has been started under this particular project. And this man, the visionary Gujarati, we all who have a proud on him, is the one who took the very much had a lot of vision. Not only vision, he converts the vision into action, and that is how this NMEICT, under NMEICT project, the the Swayam was started under his leadership. Not only that, once one has started the Swayam, it was very much challenging. I'll be talking about that in the later part. But then the whole credit goes to the present government and his team of ministers would not only allotted the money, because money is the one thing, but the steps who had chaired the sessions and made sure that the fruits of this particular digitalization should reach to each and every individual of the higher education sector. And that is how the Indian platform for the MOOC courses, that is the Swayam, was started. It is, as I told you, is a part of a present government's motto to provide a quality education to everyone. Not only quality education, but it is a free of cost. Whatever the MOOC courses which has been offered on a Swayam is almost free of courses, free of charges. If you want to log in onto the Swayam, it's simply www.swayam.gov.in, and you will get. In fact, the Swayam is an acronym. It's a one word for Study Web of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Mind. So it's an acronym for these words, and as it states, it's a Desi platform. It's an Indian platform started as you can see in these slides about the objective of the Swayam is very clear. It is for anyone, anywhere, anytime learning, and learning at no cost. One has not to pay any penny when you are taking up the courses on the Swayam. It's a motto of equity in access to quality education. Remember, not only equity to the education, but also the quality education is being imparted through this digital platform. Swayam is not very old. It is just 3.5 years baby, because the birth of Swayam took place on 9th July 2017. Then the president of India, Pranav Mukherjee, launched this on 9th July 2017. To launch, once the Swayam was launched, the next was to run the MOOC courses, and particularly to run the quality MOOC courses on the Swayam. So there were many challenges. So with the birth of, this is the photograph when the Swayam was launched. Then the minister, the Prakash Javadekar ji, with the help of our Prime Minister of India, the President of India, Pranav Mukherjee, launched the Swayam. As I was talking, once the Swayam was launched, the next challenge was to run the various courses in various disciplines, as well as in different subject areas, to cater the need of very huge number of masses in the India. To do so, the 9 coordinators were appointed. These 9 coordinators were called as NC, national coordinators. They have been allotted certain sectors or subject areas. Say for example, UGC itself was a national coordinator for all non-technology PG degree programs. So whatever the non-technology PG degree programs, means MSc, MCom, MA courses, whatever the MOOC courses related to these degree has been directly comes under the jurisdiction of UGC with the platform called ePG Pathshala. Okay, for technical courses like BE and BTech and ME and MTech, it was NPTEL, having headquarter at IIT Chennai. Similarly, for non-technology UG degree programs like BA, BCom, BSc, etc., it was CEC, consortium of CEC is the one who look after all the UG programs related to BE, BCom, and BA. The IGNOU is empowered for diploma and certificate courses, and for the 9th to 12 classes, it is NCERT, and similarly NIOS, and for management courses, it was IIMB, and for teachers training, it was NITR Chandigarh, and for self-paced and international courses, it is AICTE. So these are the 9 coordinators which has been taking care of all the MOOC courses which has been offered onto the Swayam platform. As I told you already, if you talked in terms of a UG and PG, these are the coordinators for PG. CEC, NPTEL, and IIM Bangalore is for UG, and for school education it is NCERT and NIOS. Once again, what is the Swayam? It's a one-stop web and mobile-based interactive platform, courses ranging from high school to university. Remember, in a platform, we can catch a bus or train for any destination. Like it from Swayam platform, one can get the courses related to high school to university level, from UG to PG level even also. It's a high quality learning experience using multimedia on anytime, anywhere basis. Remember, all these courses, you can access once you have a good internet connection, and even through mobile, through the tablet, and through your desktop as well as laptop, one can have an access to all quality courses free of cost. It's a state-of-the-art system that allows easy access, monitoring, and certification. Remember, when this was started, it was having a motto of only providing a quality education and not, about the certification or credit transfer. But later on, it was found that credit transfer is equally important. And therefore, the credit transfer was started, and examination was also a challenge, but that was also being solved. I will show you in the coming slides. It's a peer group interaction and discussion forum to clarify the doubts. In fact, it's a hybrid model of delivery that adds to the quality of a classroom teaching. Remember, the Swayam is not a substitute of a classroom teaching. Many of my teachers ask me that, sir, if everything will become online, then what will be the, our role? Whether it is a substitute of an offline teaching, it's a no, big no to it, because if you see in the slides, according to the Gazette notification, you can see on the point number 3 that only 20% credit can be taken up from these online courses. However, the 80% credit, say for example, in a given semester, if you are having a 20 credits to earn, then out of 20 credits, only 4 credits can be taken up through this online mode. And that's how it's a hybrid, it's a adding up to the offline education. As I told you, particularly if particular subject area is not available in colleges or in particular university, one can go for the credit transfer through this choice based credit system in a Swayam platform. To regularize the activity of the Swayam, there was a Swayam board has been established with the Secretary Higher Education as a chairman, and the other big dignitaries like chairman of UGC, AICTE, etc. are on the Swayam board. All 9 national coordinators also have a one representative, and all of them meets at least once in a month to take a policy decision related to the Swayam. So this is how the Swayam board has been established to regularize the activities of the MOOC courses offered onto the Swayam. When Swayam started, nothing was very scheduled. Everybody was offering the MOOC courses, and these MOOC courses was running throughout the year. But then to the regularize the activity, it was later on found that there will be 2 semesters. One will be July semester, another will be January semester, and one can have a courses which, say for example, recently we are having a January semester where the courses will start between 1st to 31st January. I am offering the course in this semester in UG chemistry. My course is started on 18th of January. So that's how the courses having a start date will be between 1st to 31st January. Similarly, the enrollment date, students can enroll even 1 month after the course started. Late admissions like we have here, also late admissions are allowed, and then course will end by 30th April. Those participants can also enroll for the examinations between 1st to 15th April, and their exams is fixed on 2nd Saturday and Sunday of May. And the exam will get results on 15th June, and they will get certificate by the end of June. So everything is fixed. Schedule has been, of course, because of the COVID pandemic, this schedule was slightly disturbed in the July semester last year, but now everything again streamlined, and January semester is started already onto the Swayam. When Swayam started, it was having a problems with the examinations, but then, as I told you, the solution was again was provided by the present government, and the Swayam examination is being taken up by National Testing Agency, that is NTA. With the birth of the NTA takes care of the end semester examinations on the Swayam. One can go for the examination on a any courses, MOOC courses he or she takes up. The end semester exam can be given by just registering, and for that one has to pay 1,000 rupees as a fee, which is refundable. If you clear the exam, if you pass the exam successfully, not only you will get this certificate, which you can submit to particular colleges or universities to get a credit transfer, but also 1,000 rupees which you have paid for that will get refunded out of it. So this is how the Swayam examinations will be very much easier nowadays, and anybody by just can give a 3 choices of nearby centers, and any nearest centers he or she can go and give a CBT, computer based test. CBT test will be given for all the MOOC courses offered on this Swayam platform. Everything is good, but still we have a lot of challenges, like orienting the faculty to offer online courses. Or all of you may be aware that recently the UGC has come up with the notification that one can offer if the higher education faculty wants to offer an online courses they can offer, there will be expression of interest has been invited, one can decide upon and can start offering the courses. However, there is a scrunches of recording in studio, also using tools. We are not very much aware about how to use these tools. We are not techno savvy sometimes, and that is how lot of difficulties has been still being felt by the faculties. Similarly, offering online courses is a team efforts, unlike a conventional courses. In a conventional courses, it's only individual is offering, but here there is a whole team of people who are aware about, because it's all about recording and other things. Finally, accepting the challenging role of a teacher more as a facilitator. In an online courses, you have not much to do. Once you have done the recording, your video records will be there, and then it will be running over and over for various cycles. You will be just simply like a facilitator rather than being a teacher. If you see, by now, this is slightly older figure. On Swayam platform, more than 2,700 courses is being offered, and more than 1 crore students have been enrolled in various courses. So this is how this Swayam is getting popular day by day, and more faculty and more students are getting involved with this Swayam platform. Not only that, through the Swayam, the online degree programs are also now started being offered by some of the universities in some subject areas, and slowly in the times to come, we will have a more institutions will be offering online degree programs. One of the feature of the Swayam courses is for African students. Rather, Indian students and SAARC country students are getting advantage of this Swayam, but many of the African students are also taking advantage of the Swayam. Particularly the poor African country students are learning through this Swayam platform under eWeb project. So this was all brief about the Swayam. This is the place where I belongs to, the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, with a the first line of our university anthem, Ame Vadodarana Vidyapithna Sapna Saravnara. So I end with this. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thanks to UGC HRDC for inviting me in this webinar. These are my contact detail. If you have any queries and questions, anyway, you will be asking in this chat box. Other than that, you can also pop up to this email as well as on this phone number. Thank you for your patience listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Very relevant information about Swayam provided in brief for the benefit of the participants, sir. Thank you very much once again, sir. And there is a Swayam name itself, Swayam, good initiative taken by government. So there is a participants comments for you for this great session. Our next resource person, the name is Dr. Kamaljeet Lakhtaria, sir. Dr. Kamaljeet Lakhtaria, sir, is very much familiar with the HRDC. Dr. Kamaljeet Lakhtaria, sir, is working as an associate professor in Department of Computer Science, Gujarat University. He is coordinator for Department of Animation, ITIMS, and Mobile Application, Gujarat University. Till now, 14 PhD scholars are graduated under his guidance. 6 PhD scholars working under him. He holds an edge in information retrieval, next generation network, web service, mobile ad, HOC networks, network securities, and cryptography. He is author of 11 reference books in computer science. He presented many research papers in national and international conferences. He has been invited by Anna University, Bhartiya University, Sauras University, Pacific University as subject expert for thesis evaluation as external reference. He holds the post of editor associate editor in many international research journal. He is program committee member of many international conferences. Welcome to Dr. Kamaljeet Lakhtaria, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Rishi. Thank you very much to the authority, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Gujarat University, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Gujarat University, our very dynamic Director, HRDC, Gujarat University, Dr. Jagdish Joshi, sir. He had joined this session before 10 minutes, but this lecture was going on, so that's why we weren't able to interact with Jagdish sir. But we all will interact with him at the end of the sessions. Members of HRDC, Professor Priti Mayani Madam, Professor Sundakan Brahmbhatt sir, and the team HRDC. Friends, if we recall, just today morning only, I shared a few moments with Dr. Rajendra Singh Jadeja sir that the situation started in last year, March 2020, pandemic, lockdown, and so many challenges were there. As a fortunately, teachers, professors, not only teachers, students, all face this problem. But we adapted very quickly, very responsibly. We adapted the online teaching mode. Even before pandemic, the softwares were there. Zoom was there, Google Meet was there, Microsoft Team was there. But during the pandemic, the best medium to teach our students and all lot of tools were there. We used the tool, and even almost after a year, after completing at least 1 or 2 semesters in online mode, even though the guideline is now released for offline education, but still we adopted the online teaching, and we used to, in a way, that India is one of the largest having population, and in online education we are again on top 3 countries in the world. From the point where I am starting, happened what? Even we all people, as a professor, we all have participated so many online workshops, short-term courses, FDPs, even there. But when we started to apply for certificate in international platforms of MOOC, we required to pay some fees. And what is the best Indian platform for the MOOC that is well explained by Dr. Jadeja sir? Friend, my topic is online education, but we all are doing online education. But I will share how better we do in online education. I will explain with some real-time memories of all of us. Let me share my screen. Before I share, when Jadeja sir's lecture was on, I was on YouTube, and it's a wonderful thing that 100 plus participants were there, and every single second used to get number of comments about good evening, good afternoon, about the feedback. So this webinar is an interactive webinar. That is good thing for all of us. Now we have limited time that is given to me, because one more resource person, Dr. Nilam Panchal, is also after my session. So let us share my screen. You are free to share your comments in YouTube. At the end of the session, we will discuss the questions if you are having any. I hope it's visible clearly.
Yes, sir.
Online education. Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
It's
Visible.
audible? Okay,
Visible.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So many friends, so many known, so many old colleagues are in webinar. So I welcome all members again in the second session for this webinar. We discuss, as Jadeja discussed, so many things, and so many things supposed to be discussed with you in this session and next session. But when we discuss about some knowledge, distance education, online education, television, so let me share you these two screen with you. Maybe during my childhood days, I think you got this particular concept, Surbi, the serial hosted by Siddharth Kak and Renuka Shahan. There is no direct relevance of this serial with standard 1 to 8 mark sheets. There is no direct collision with any of the current course, but we all were eager to watch the serial. The serial remained in market for more than 10 years, and in every single episode, they bring some historical place, historical aspect of the country. But what we were made behind, that is the content what Surbi was present at that time. Even similar time, the Khana Khazana was launched by one of the channel. This is purely for the cooking stream only, but this particular serial, when started when they launch, it took almost 15 plus years in market. Both of them were broadcasted through television, but both having some knowledge to share with the viewers. Let me share you one more thing. There is a lady named Misha Module. We might have seen Facebook video, we might have seen YouTube thing and others. That madam having 11.1 million subscribers. She don't have any tie-up with any of the television channel. No. She is doing whatever cooking activity at her home only with a very limited resources, but she is having subscribers 11 plus million. That might be more than any of the online teaching activity. What she is teaching, she is sharing her skills in cooking area. But what about teaching? Yes, let me bring you at that level. There is a person name is Pradeep Chhatrapal. He is a mastermind in teaching electronic subjects, physics, and other at school level, initial college level. This person having more than 807,000 subscribers, which is even more than NPTEL, any of the subjects subscribers. Friends, online education, distance education, as Raja sir explained very well about MOOCs at a level that he even disclosed each and every aspect of MOOC and the body of Swayam as well. But online education is not new for us. Using the internet, as sir told with a very proper example, with the internet revolution, with service provider, with a smart gadget, we can provide online education, and we all have provided this thing at an excellent level during the pandemic time. But now what? So now is the best period to use the skill, upgrade in a way, and thrive to a level up. The paths of learning can be distance education, like books like IGNO or Ambedkar University in Gujarat. Earlier, Microsoft or Oracle or such software companies used to provide their tutorials with CD or DVDs. We can have tutorial support online. Subjects can be broadcasted Gyanwani, through radio, through television, through free D2H. Interested person can learn using YouTube video or such skills are there. But what about a structured teaching approach? The teaching approach, e-learning, e-content, e-evaluation, e-certification, credit transfer, everything is there. But the structured, if it is only online, it's e-learning, as sir told. Online and off campus, it is online distance mode ODL. Online and no campus, there is MOOC, Messy Open Online Courses is told. Open education resources as well. Or it can be as well informal learning. You might have seen videos of Facebook, there is 5-minute craft, that how a bottle, empty bottle can be used for any creative or work. There is also a skill there. But what I am repeating myself, that a structured learning approach where we can involve, that I will share with you today. But before that, the advantages of online classes, it costs less, easier to attend. We face all the advantages along with some limitations, everything during this pandemic period. MOOC, the name is given by you, but the actual term is given by David Cormier. He is also the manager of web communication and innovations at Princeton Edward Island University. At that time, that the course that they were running, having name is connectivism and connective knowledge, having only 25 full-time students. This person transmits this classroom-based course into an open online format course, where they receive 2,300 students to get knowledge of this course. 2,300 gross enrollments. What they were teaching in classroom is only 25, and they have received almost 100 times higher student in online mode. And that's why the name massive open online course term. This name is given by this fellow. MOOC features that we all aware in previous sessions, benefits that we all know. I will share the types of MOOC that is pending, and from this point I will stretch, because during these 2 hours we have one more session with you all. At the end, might possible the director, honorable director sir, will join us. There are types of MOOCs. MOOC is not a generic name. First type is XMOOC, which is a very common type, organized around one professor, one syllabus, where a single professor predefined the material for the semester, for the course, for the subject. Is a traditional MOOC system. Happened what? There are all 20 units of one subject taught by one professor, one faculty. It might make the student bored in online environment. Second, upgrades within the 3 to 5 year of time. XMOOC become isolated because of single person handling the whole thing is make all them unhappy. What happened that the CMOOC, connectivity MOOC, resembles graduate seminar, courses, course material, and providing a starting point for student to discuss with core learning outcome and having student to student interaction. It is again upgraded version of XMOOC. We have so many upgrades in this section. DOC, distributed online collaborative courses. Sometimes it refers to DMOOC as well, DOMC as well, or DOC as well, in which the same course material is distributed to students at multiple institutions, but exact administration of material can be varied. Students can engage with each other across institute via online component. Student can join. Book is again a variant. Big open online course are similar to XMOOC, but book provides a limit of typically 50 students. Above 50 won't allow to join because it provides the quality or particular limitations of the subject streams. SMOC, synchronous massive online course, is 100% different than XMOOC, and this is a variant which is at presently highly acceptable. SMOC lectures are broadcasted live based on requirement of the student at a specific time, where student can live interact in live lectures, as we all are doing in SMOC mode only. SMOC, small private online courses, it is again similar to books, where the class size is limited, but student can interact with teachers. If you include flip concept in teaching, so you convert your MOOC into SPOC. Even for the corporate sector, corporate trainings, corporate MOOCs are there, which is designed to train employees at various organizational level. It may be bank, it may be airlines, it may be hotels, but the instructions shall pass through only and only online mode. That is a MOOC. Now, friends, we all have seen an advertisement of ByJuice. It is a webinar hosted by Human Resource Development Center, Gujarat University. But I have discussed this with permission with the Honorable Director, sir. ByJuice is a model which gives specific subject tutorials, content, quiz, and live guidance online to school children. That is true. Many of our family children, many of our non-children, group members might using ByJuice. Benefits of MOOCs: it works to develop the skill and it works to develop at a global level. If I have submitted a proposal to Swayam and Swayam, on Swayam my courses are there, so for me I become immortal. My organizational name will become will be on everyone's mouth that I am from Gujarat University. I am teaching this and this course from MS University, Delhi University, so and so on Swayam platform. We can promote such courses. Here is the business model, but based on this business model, I want to share one online education system. Now, how to thrive in online education system? In 1 year, we all have taught various subjects. Maybe from me, myself, I have taught subject from computer science. Someone has taught from mathematics. Someone has taught from arts. Any other areas. Might possible after 1 year, everything become normal and everything will be in offline mode. But the skill that we have learned, the ability that we get grown up with the ability, so many other platforms are also there to utilize your skill in online teaching, online learning, online education. Now is not a time to become a viewer. As a viewer, we have participated in FTP, short-term course. We have delivered in a very nominal, only class level, student level discussion. Now it's time to upgrade skills, enhance skill, and thrive into global market, in global platforms. Yes, friends. If you are aware about how, if as we all are preparing our lecture notes, classroom notes in every semester, if we want to do something above our college, institution, or university level at a national or international level, we have the platform Udemy, Udacity, and so much, where simply a teacher required to register free of cost, required to send a sample video of 1 minute to 5 minutes. Immediately within 1 to 2 weeks, they approve your video with your subject vision. It might possible in some of the platform there only one subject and only one professors are there, but in the global platform for one subject it might possible there are 10, 20, 100 professors are presenting their subject skills. So don't get puzzled that if my proposal not accepted in so and so platform, you can submit a proposal to these open platforms. It is open for the world. Based on your sample video and you have to submit your lecture note, they approve. Udacity, Udemy, and so others are there. They approve, and the moment you get approval, your full-fledged course supposed to go on live. In a given time period, 1 month, 2 months, you only required to submit your all lecture notes, your all recorded videos, and based on the registered student in your subject, friends, I am sharing this thing as a professor with you all in the subject of computer science. Based on the participation, you will definitely get a handsome amount as a royalty to your activity, to boost your research, to boost your activity. You get a handsome amount as a revenue. Happen what? That apart from classroom life, apart from institution life, you become more live in an online across the world platform. You might have a skill to teach English grammar. You might have a skill to teach only one subject in geography, only one component of statistics. You can submit your proposals, friend. Similar, here in this, you have to create your own course content, lesson plan, submit. Once it approved, you start broadcasting through the platform. This platform is very transparent. Whatever student get registered in your course, you get the exact number, whatever queries raised by student. Even though you can submit proposal in such platform in your group, subject group, department group, scholar group, whatever, you can present it. Now second thing is that you might not able to create your own video, but you are efficient enough in teaching. Don't worry, we have a second category there. In second category, the content prepared by the web portal. You only required to deliver the content through live lectures, through the web portal, or you required additionally to assessment and doubt solving, providing tutorials to registered students. Let me share you. I meet a person last month only. In pandemic time, that lady belonged to our department, of our university only. That lady only 3 hours of teaching in night from 8 to 11 o'clock every night. She is doing, and every month she used to get paid by an academy more than 1 lakh rupees. She joined online, doing activity live in a way that apart from the regular office hour, regular college hour, regular university times, she spent better time and earn based on her skills. If you are not able to even prepare material, you aren't able to deliver video lectures, then also you earn, then also you create your reputation in the education system with such platforms. Whitehead Junior, An Academy, K12 is for, even though if I feel so that I am teaching in MCA, MTech courses, but I might require to, I want to try to teach to school children. So I can simply apply to K12, which is for the school children. I can apply for Venbantu for school children. It's there where I can share my skills of programming language to school children. If I want to propose a database course in any Swayam platform and it might not accepted, not required to frustrate. I simply upgrade the proposal and I can submit to Udacity without any kind of MOU, anything. I get started working. Proposal accepted. I do work, but that work definitely give me revenue, royalty, reputation, and the best is my self satisfaction that I am now become an online educator, not at all an online participant. That is must. We all have sufficient examples from across our surrounding areas. The people join such system and they thrive in education system. It is there. Even though many platforms like Unacademy used to provide incentive based on the promotional basis. So how better you can work, the better you can earn, better you can get reputations. But MOOCs having challenges, criticisms. The most challenges that many of my knowns are working in that phase is the language and translation barrier. We must require to regulate the participant. If the participant and any of might not aware about the digital literacy, it might get again problem that they won't accept the content. Apart from the user generated content, we require to create a learning environment and a customized learning material. That is a big challenge. If I am teaching from the basement book, 7th edition, so I might require to set case studies according to current classroom environment. That is the thing. I cannot accept the ready-made case study, ready-made example, ready-made course from the material. That is must required. Once the course ready, we require to reshape, reinterpret based on the classroom required. That is must thing. So a lot much to share with you, but the session given by the team is very limited there. But before we conclude for my session, these are not only these things. You simply search in Google that I want to teach history for this particular course, BA or MA or school 11 standard. You will definitely found more than 100 such platforms where you can become an online educator. And friends, let me share you frankly that the coming time, as we all face this pandemic challenge, we able to survive, we able to conclude the session with online teaching and everything. But after 2 5 years, the online education platform will like Swayam, like NPTL, like such will definitely have a big role, big presence in our traditional education system. So why don't we join such platform as well as the platform where we have opportunity to upgrade ourselves. So let me conclude. Thank you. The session is over, but you are free to ask me questions in the meanwhile in the end of the sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your informative session. Actually, you are the perfect person for the described online education, sir. And sir, there is a participant's comments is there. I want to read this. It's a so fabulous information about online education and MOOCs. And Gujarat University has tremendous mode of MOOCs for PhD courses work also. I am glad to hear this so informative lectures. Thanks a lot, sir. So I am also mean that, sir, you are actually giving a very much good speech regarding the topic. So we have the another resource person, Dr. Neelam Panchal ma'am is there. So Dr. Neelam Panchal is the PhD, MPhil, MBA, PGDI, RPM gold medalist, is working as an associate professor and head of the management of public policy and governance, DPPG, BK School, Gujarat University. During the course of her career in academics, she completed the faculty development program in management, FDPM, from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, IIMA. She is also coordinator of course like PG Diploma in Finance Management, PG Diploma in Training and Development, PG Diploma in Information Technology Management, and PG Diploma in Material and Operation Management, running under Management Academy programs. She has been also involved in teaching, training, research assignments, activities, is not only nation but many countries of ASEAN and SAARC, along with United Kingdom at Cambridge University. She has published more than 120 research articles in refereed national and international academic journals. 20 books also. She actually authored 20 books. And she is acting as a chairman of Indian Society for Training and Development, ISTD, Ahmedabad chapter. So many more experience, 20 years, about vast 20 years of experience madam has. Over to you, madam. There is Dr. Neelam Panchal, ma'am. Thank you. Please.
Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction, and congratulations to both the speakers, Dr. Kamaljeet and Dr. Jadeja. You have done fantastically, and participants are now, very, very clear about the base of the Swayam, the base of the MOOCs, and importance of the online education. So thank you very much for giving that base to the participants. And on behalf of the school, I, at the outset, thanking the UGC HRDC for providing this wonderful opportunity to interact with so many participants who are live today and might be looking at the session even after the session is ended over. So thank you so much, the team HRDC, for doing this great job for organizing different type of workshops on day-to-day and weekly basis, whereby the participants are really getting a different ideas, from different professors, different specialized faculties across the nation. Friends, when we are starting with this, yesterday also some of you might have joined, and we were talking about the MOOC as a process. Now, when we are saying MOOC as a process, actually it is a process. It is a continuous process which does not end with just one step over, right? So the first step, which we talk about yesterday also and today also, there might be few participants who have joined for the first time. So when we enter into this journey, Professor Jadeja rightly mentioned about the agencies which are taking care of this MOOCs, and it is important for everyone to know that where to apply, because many times what happens is we want to apply, we are very, very much ready with the idea, but we don't know where to apply. And that is why Professor Jadeja, what he mentioned correctly is you need to go to different agencies. For example, let's start with this UGC, right? So when we are interested in a non-technology postgraduate degree programs, then you should refer to the CC. And then if we want to go for the technical engineering UG and PG degree programs, you should apply to NPTEL. Same way, the non-technology undergraduate degree programs, you should apply to CEC. If you want to apply for developing the MOOCs on the diploma and the certificate programs, you should go for IGNOU. If you want to develop the programs for the school education, for example, the programs from class 9th to class 12th, you can go to NCRT. Same way, if you want to develop a MOOC or develop a program for the out-of-school children educational programs for class 9 to 12, you can apply to NIOS. And if you want to go for the management programs, of course, not only the IIM Bangalore, but now CEC is also conducting that. And then for the other programs, you can go to NITTR Chennai, and that is the technology-based program. So friends, when we are saying about the multimedia centers, so across the nation, if you just refer to this slide, there's so many multimedia centers. Okay, so if we talk about Delhi, then JMI Delhi, Lucknow, Gaya, Indore, Kolkata, Imphal, and then Hyderabad, Chennai, Mysore, Calicut, Madurai, Jodhpur, Patiala, Srinagar, and Ahmedabad, Gujarat University. So importantly, why I'm saying this to you is, where are you located? According to that, you need to go and you need to see which is the multimedia center that is there around you. Okay, so if you are in Gujarat, of course, Gujarat University is there. But then if you are out of Gujarat, you need to see that whether you are in Delhi, you should approach to JMI. If you are in Lucknow, you should approach to particular EMRC center. If you are in Kolkata, you should approach. So there are specific EMRC centers that has been identified. Now, what is important for you is, when you want to start, the first and the foremost thing is you need to identify what type of course you want to offer. Whether you want to develop a curriculum-based course, You want to go for school education? You want to go for skill-based courses? You want to go for advanced curriculum and professional certification? Okay, so which way you want to go for? Which type of program you want to go for in developing the MOOC? So if you want to go for developing the MOOC for, say for example, school education, okay, then you should approach to a particular agency, okay. But if you want to go for the management program, for the non-technology undergraduate programs and the degree programs, you should go to CEC. So you must know where exactly you want to approach and what is your approach, what you want to provide, whether you want to provide a skill-based education or you want to develop a subject-based course, or how you would like to go ahead. Now, so the first and important thing is when we are talking about the lifetime of a MOOC. Okay, so the lifeline of the MOOC, it starts with proposal. Okay, so the first step is a proposal. You have to go for excellent proposal development. Okay, once you go for proposal development, you have to go to propose that. Okay, and once you are proposing, the evaluation of the proposal is happening. Now, when the evaluation happening, there are certain criteria that they are trying to look into. Say, for example, the title. What is the title of the course? Whether the given title is a part of the overall guidelines or overall subject areas that has been given by the CEC or not. They also try to look into the credits for the course. How much credit have you offered for the course? Have you offered 2 credit course? Have you offered 4 credit course? Or you're going for 3 credit course? Now, depending upon the type of the course, the comments are getting from the coordinators there or from the evaluators there. Say, for example, I proposed a MOOC on entrepreneurship development for a 2 credit. But the course entrepreneurship development is a core subject and it is a subject which is needed to be focused upon, and it is a subject which involves so many things. So there was comment from the evaluators that you can go for increasing the credit of the course. So instead of 2 credit, one can go for 4 credit course. So the point is how much credit of the course that you are going to offer. That is one of the very, very important evaluation criteria. And so whenever you are preparing a proposal, you need to keep in mind that whatever you are proposing, you should look into what type of subject you are going to offer. If it is a skill-based subject, you should go for 2 credit course. But if it is a core course, right, then you should go for a 4 credit course. So 3 to 4 credit course, depending upon the type of the subject. The third important consideration for the evaluation is course promo, right? So what is, how you have prepared the proportional and the promotional video, that is very, very important. In the promotional video that you are developing, what you should try to do is you should try to give the course objectives. You should try to be learner centric. You have to keep in mind that whenever you are promoting the video, in that 3 minutes or 4 minutes video, the person should get an idea about what exactly the course is, what is the learning outcome of the course, what is the brief structure of the course, what would be the engagement time of the course, okay, and how it would be put on the course page before the course commencement, right? So the video from 3 to 5 minutes, it should be very, very specific. It should have a brief structure. It should have an idea about the engagement time. It should have an idea about the course objectives, the learning outcomes, the brief structure, and all. So that is the third thing. The fourth thing that you need to focus upon is about the instructor. That is, you have to give your detail. Why? Because there's a minimum criteria, right? That is, you must have, 5 years of experience if you are applying. Okay. If you don't have a 5 years of experience and still you are interested to apply, then the answer is yes. You can connect to a professor to a person who is having a 5 years experience. You can coordinate, you can establish a team, and then simply you can propose. So about the instructor is also one of the very, very important aspect that the evaluator look into in the proposal. The fourth thing is a duration, that is the duration of the course, whether it would be 4 to 12 weeks. It varies from 4 to 12 weeks, for which you need to mention it in proposal itself. Then you need to look into the category in which the MOOC falls into, whether it is interdisciplinary or it is what type of course, in which category, whether it is coming in social sciences, it comes in management, it comes in arts, it comes in chemistry, or it comes in science, which fraternity, which category, which stream, that you need to mention well in your proposal, right? And when you are saying another important thing, the course objectives are very, very important, right? Why? Because what is the objective of the course that are needed to be highlighted? The another important thing that is needed to be looked into is educational material development. How would you develop the material? What is the pedagogy that you are keeping in mind? How would you go for encouraging the participants during the MOOC? How we are going for engagement time, right? So that is also one of the very, very important thing. So friends, one of the very important thing that I want to say over here is, when you are developing this proposal, you should focus upon the title, you should focus upon the time duration, you should focus upon the engagement time, you should focus upon the course learning outcome, you should focus upon the weekly plan and the session plan, and then the evaluation is done on this basis, and importantly, consent later. Now let us assume that you have already proposed. Let's assume that you are in the second stage where the evaluators are evaluating and the comments are there, and then there might be some revisions that might be giving to you, or simply they might be rejecting. Let's assume that your proposal is accepted, and the news is now you can start developing the MOOC. So what is the second stage? The second stage is developing the quadrant. Now what do you mean by the quadrant? Here quadrant referring to the 4 quadrants. What is the meaning of the 4 quadrant? Quadrant number 1 is talking about the video. Now what is that video? The video is the educational videos that you are developing. So educational video here means what? The script that you have written. The script that you have written, and that content you would have to put in the audio video format. Okay, so that content in an organized form, with the animation, with the simulations, with the demonstrations, with the virtual labs, how you develop it, sky's the limit. You can design the own way, you can design your own different way to deliver it. Why? Because if you go on lecturing method in a video, what happens is, we all know that if somebody is speaking, then what happens is we go on listening up to 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes, and then we lose the interest. So what is very important for you as a developer of the MOOC or as a coordinator is to plan your session in such a way so that you can involve the people, you can involve more and more faces. Say for example, you can take interviews of the people, you can involve experts in your session, you can go to some other place, like say for example, my MOOC was on entrepreneurship, so I went to EDII, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, which is a prime and important institute which we can show, and thereby the experts sitting over there, we can get an interview. Same way I went to IIM, Indian Institute of Management, whereby they also have a center. We also have a center, GUSEC, where also we approach and we took an interview of the people who are involved in the startups. So your video lecture should not be monotonous. Your video lecture, if you involve more and more faces, maybe in the form of interviews, maybe in the form of participation, maybe in the form of discussion, whatever may be the form, but you should try to make the videos much interesting, so that the participants doesn't lose the interest, because you have to make sure that the person who has enrolled in your course, he or she should finish the course, right? If he is not finishing the course, then it's of no use. And that is why maintaining the interest along with the material that you are providing is very important. So that is quadrant number 1. Quadrant number 2 is talking about the material, self-instructional material. That is, you have to give the material. Material here means the scripts. Scripts here means the chapter that you have written. So your chapter writing or your script writing. The illustrations that you might be interested to give. The case studies, if you have given for, for your chapter or for your subject. The presentations that you might have involved, the web resources that you might be referring or you want participants to go ahead with, the reference links that you might be interested them to refer, right? The case studies and the other relevant information that you might like to share to the participants. So that is quadrant number 2. Quadrant number 3 is a discussion forum. Now, so important for you is when you are developing a MOOC, you have to focus upon 2 things. Number 1 is quadrant number 1 and number 2 is quadrant number 2. So quadrant number 1 is talking about e-tutorial. Quadrant number 2 is talking about e-content. Now, once your e-content and e-tutorial is ready, what you're required to do is you need to submit it to the agency, submit it to your national coordinator. Say, for example, if it is a social sciences, the national coordinator is CEC, right? So you need to submit that. Once you submit there, then they would try to analyze, they would try to see that everything is as per the requirement or not. And once everything is required, then as per the given schedule, you would be allowed to go to market your MOOC, right? That is why you can share the information to many. You can tell people that you are going to launch the MOOC in a different way. You can prepare a poster, you can prepare a brochure, you can send it to your students, you can send it on all the social media platform to the masses. So somewhere or the other way, your quadrant number 1 and quadrant number 2, when it is ready, that means you are 90% done. Why? Because then the process would go on auto mode. Auto mode in the sense you need to develop, you need to upload it. And once you have uploaded it, you need to have one teaching assistant who would run the show on day-to-day basis. Okay, so that is quadrant number 2. Quadrant number 3 is a discussion forum. Now, this discussion forum is a forum which you need to perform, or that you need to be performed while you are in a platform, while your MOOC is already running. So let us assume that you have developed the material, you have developed the video, you have developed all the instructional material, you have provided all the material to the CEC, and now the MOOC is about to start. So say, for example, session 1 has started, session 2 has started, session 3 is going on, and then participants have different questions, right? So these questions would be just like you are putting comments on YouTube right now. So like that also, the participants who are looking into on the Swayam platform itself, there is a mechanism whereby participant can interact with the coordinator. Participant can ask questions to the subject experts. Participants can throw lights on the questions, on the queries, whatever they have. And you as a coordinator and you as a subject expert, whosoever is a subject expert and coordinator of your MOOC, they need to handle the discussion forums. So the discussion forum for raising the doubts and clarifying them on a daily basis is very important for the course coordinator. Why? Because if you don't go for solution of the doubts, the participants would be in trouble. Participants would feel in isolation. Participants would feel that there's no one to interact. For example, in my course, when it started for the first and second week, We never interacted the participants, and one fine day I just opened a platform, and when I opened a platform there were 500 comments and some queries and whatever it was there. So as a course coordinator, you have to make sure that every week at least you try to look into the platform on your given login ID and password, try to look into the comments, try to look into what is there, what are the doubts, what are the queries, and you need to solve that on a regular basis. In case you are not able to look into regularly, you can appoint a teaching assistant who is clever, teaching assistant who knows about the subject and who can be with you, who can update you on a regular basis that madam or sir, this is what is happening, and then you can also look into the forum. So discussion forum is your quadrant number 3. And quadrant number 4 is a problem solutions, MCQs, quizzes, which you need to go on developing whenever the MOOCs is going on. So what is very important for you in the second stage is you need to see the quadrants, you need to develop the quadrants. So again, I'm telling quadrant number 1 is e-tutorial, which contains the video and audio. Quadrant number 2 is e-content, which talks about your instructional material, which is scripts, case studies, presentations, web resources, references, related links that you want to provide, so on and so forth. Quadrant number 3 is a discussion forum, which you need to handle while they raise the doubts. You have to be online at least weekly once or fortnightly once if teaching assistant is with you. If teaching assistant is not with you, and if you have no confidence on the teaching assistant, then it may happen that on a regular basis you can take at least 5 to 10 minutes, and then you can solve the doubts of the people. Why? Because once you're solving the doubt, once you are answering them, they will feel that yes, something is happening. It's just like we are teaching in a class. When the students are asking a question to us, and if we are providing an answer, they are feeling confident. They will feel that okay, something is happening. There's someone who is listening. There's someone who is observing. There's someone as an instructor who is there with you. And many times what we do is we create a WhatsApp group also of the students if there are lesser students. Say, for example, in my course, there are 7,500 students. So I started with a WhatsApp group, but then when the participants increased, it was not possible to handle the WhatsApp group. And so, the platform itself was a good platform to interact in the discussion forum. And quadrant number 4, as I said, it contains the problems, the solutions, fill in the blanks, matching questions, short answer questions, discussion forum topics, setting FAQs and clarification in general, right? So these are the what we can say MOOC development preparation stage. We are in the second stage right now. First stage was proposal development. Then we assume that it is accepted. Second stage is developing MOOC itself. Okay, thereby we assume that here that you have developed everything. Friends, while you are developing that, we have to keep in mind that we avoid plagiarism. Now, what happens is if you are in a group, if you are in a team, whenever you are in a team, what happens is, say for example, for smoothing the process, you have appointed 4 subject experts. 4 subjects experts, they are very nice, very fantastic in their own areas, but you forgot to check about the plagiarism. Then, as a course coordinator, remember, it is your responsibility and not subject experts' responsibility. It is your responsibility to see that there is no plagiarism. It is your responsibility to see that whatever material, whatever script, whatever references, whatever specific material and the video content that they are developing, it has clearance. Okay, it has, you have obtained clearance from that. So what is advisable is course coordinator can obtain copyright clearance form from the content writers for any readings, any images, any video clips that you are using. Licensing is very important. So you should use the licensed version only. Now, what is this images? This images that I'm talking about, that is while developing a video. So in quadrant 1, when I said you have to develop a video, when we are developing a video, say for example, right now I'm talking and talking and there's no images displayed. So if there is no images in between in any video, then it becomes boring. It becomes monotone, right? And that is why we are using animation. We are using some images. We are using some pictures in between, which we need to select from different sources. We need to Google it out and we need to select. But we have to mention and we have to be very, very sure that it is not unauthorized material, right? So whenever, as a course coordinator, say for example, many times what happens is I might not be a faculty of, say, statistics, but I'm getting a MOOC on statistics because I just applied 3-4 courses. Okay, so I might be a faculty of finance, or I might be a faculty of chemistry, but I have applied for a MOOC on entrepreneurship, and I got a MOOC on entrepreneurship. Now I'm a faculty of chemistry, so it may happen that I am not very sure that whether I would be able to develop all the 40 sessions or not. But the good news is the MOOC is with me. So entrepreneurship development MOOC is with me. But how to develop all the 40 sessions for 4 credit is a question mark to me. So what I will do as a course coordinator, I will appoint 4 faculties who are good at entrepreneurship, who are having a background, who can write a script, who can do the presentation, who can do the video recording, and who are good at all this work. Okay, and then I go to sleep and I'm saying all the 4 key, 5 आपको करना है, 5 आपको करना है, 5 आपको करना है, and you go ahead, and then I'm connecting with the EMRC and saying that okay, everything is fine, and they are saying that madam, don't worry, everything is fine and fantastic, and by now your all 40 sessions are recorded. Fine, fantastic, that's nice. But what is important is, have I checked whether they have plagiarized the content? Have I checked or have I collected a copyright form from them? Because UGC, CEC, or any national coordinators, they are not going to say you कि madam आप copyright collect करना. It is your duty to make sure that you are, आप खुद नहीं फंस रहे हैं, वो आपको देखना पड़ेगा, right? So you need to clear that part and you need to collect the MCQs, you need to collect all the materials from them so that there's no copyright, there's no plagiarism, because we all know that UGC has very strict regulations for the copywriting. So that is very, very important aspect. Now when we are developing this MOOC, what is very, very important for us is you need to look into that it is a learner centric MOOC. Now, what do you mean by learner-centric MOOC? So when you are designing the MOOC, it has to be learner-centric. And what is learner-centric here means you need to look into that the attention of the participant. That should be a learner's motivation. The learner should be motivated. Now, how the learner will be motivated? How are you motivated to attend this session? Until unless there is a variety, until unless there is something different, until unless whatever I'm talking, if I don't have you attitude in my talk, you would say, okay, something is going on, and because I need a certification, I need to keep this, YouTube open, and I should get the certification. That's all. So until unless whatever you are talking of, if there's no you attitude, then you would not be able to grab the attention of the learners. And that you would be able to grab whenever you are interacting with them. So maybe at the end of the week, you should interact with them and you should ask how the things are going on in your own way. But many times we all know that the things how much efforts I have put. So what is important for you is you need to look into the learner's motivation. You have to look into the opportunities for the immediate micro application. Whatever you are offering, it should be application based, because if you're giving theories, we all know that students are now much more far ahead than us, and Google is giving all the data. Then what is the need of listening you half an hour and then referring your script for half an hour, and then still if the student is not satisfied or participant is not satisfied, he will look into some other material and then prepare himself or herself. So what is the need to do so? So what is requirement is try to look into and try to develop the learner-centric MOOC. What is learner-centric MOOC over here? The learner-centric MOOC is talking about four things. One is learner experience interaction. Second is learning dialogues. Third is learning extension trajectories. And the fourth is learning by doing. Now, let me explain you in brief, looking into time, what exactly all this, because this is very, very important to follow. Number one is learner experience interaction. What do you mean by that? Learner experience interaction here means learner should be feeling experience while you are delivering the session. That is, how can you do that? Say, for example, here also, right now also, the things are on YouTube and it is just, one way and no two way until unless I read the comments, until unless I respond the comment or read the comment, it's all one way. Now, if I want to make it two way, even, in any case, I can make it two way. How can I make it experience learning, or how can I make it learner experience interaction? What should I do is I should try to look into number one, reflection questions. Reflection questions is, for example, if I want to start a session on entrepreneurship. So the first question, or in between, I would have a question like, what do you know about entrepreneur? Or what do you know about entrepreneurship? And then I'll take a pause. I'll take a pause for 1 second or 2 seconds. Okay, I'm doing nothing in a video. It is just a pause. Okay, and that is called a reflection quiz, whereby the participants are getting a chance for 1 minute or 1 second to think about what exactly entrepreneur mean, or what exactly the chemistry means, or what exactly the psychology, or whatever is your subject. Reflection quiz is one of the way in which you can make participants to think over, to make them feel that they are into session. The second thing is peer interaction. You can make them more experienced by interacting with the peers, by involving more people in what we can say your session. So you can call some good experts who can deliver a talk, and it can be not in the form of talk, but it can be in the form of a discussion. The second important thing is learning dialogues. Now, when we are saying learning dialogues, then it means content plus reflection spot. Your content, it should be in a very, very specific way, and it should be in a form of dialogue rather than just, bombarding whatever you have. Just bombarding and just, giving and lecturing will not create an interest to the participants. So learning dialogues are very, very important. Third thing is a learning by doing. To make your MOOC much more interesting, you should be, giving some type of activities, or some customized feedback. Say, for example, when it is going on, you can give a feedback in between, or while the session is on, in the session duration itself, you can give them 5 minutes. Okay, you might be posing a question in the video itself. Okay, and in the video itself, you can tell them that you want to say, for example, some type of activity you are floating, and you are giving them 5 minutes to think over that, or to discuss among the participants, connecting them for 5 minutes in their own groups, and then discuss some type of activities, some types of platform whereby they will do something, that is learning by doing. They will do and learn, not just monotonously listening you. Until unless you develop the learning centric MOOC, participants are not going to be sustained, because that is a major problem that we have seen in the MOOC. And in my experiences also, I have observed that many a times, even in the CEC coordinators meeting and all the, what we can say, trainings that has happened, in that also they mentioned that whatever you are developing, you need to develop learner centric, because if you look into the proportion of the students who have enrolled, proportion of the participants who have enrolled, and compared to that proportion of the participants who are really getting a certification, that is the turnover ratio in the language of management, the turnover ratio or the sustainability ratio, that goes down day by day until unless you provide a variety there, right? So whenever you are developing, you have to provide a variety. At least weekly once you should give some interactive session, at least weekly once in an advance in your MOOC itself, on a platform itself in advance. You can put a case studies for them to read, and then you can, in a next session itself, you can discuss that case studies, right? So the point is how you can do, how to beautify it, how to make it more interesting. Okay, for that, it is only you as a subject expert, and it is only you as a coordinator who can put their efforts. Why? Because it's not like a one time job. Once you develop a MOOC, it's going to be there on a platform. It's a matter of your impression, it's a matter of your satisfaction, it's a matter of learners viewpoint of appointing you as a coordinator by UGC and national coordinators. If you're not justifying the purpose, then somewhere or the other way, it will not definitely give you the satisfaction. So learning by doing, that's important. And lastly, learning extension trajectories, the fourth thing that is important here, the resources that you are using and the quizzes that you are using. Many times what happens is, and this is an observation, that when the subject experts are preparing a quiz, we all know that on Google everything is available, but then how much efforts that you have put for preparing the quiz also, because there are different ways. So the point is how you are giving a reflection points, how you are giving them opportunity to interact in your MOOC itself, how you are giving them reflection spots, how you are developing a content in a different way rather than एक सेशन का स्क्रिप्ट बनाया और उसका रिकॉर्डिंग कर दिया बोल बोल के एंड खत्म. We all know that majority of MOOCs are there because previously CECs and national coordinators question was involving and inviting the faculty member. Now that question has gone. Now the awareness of MOOC is there. Now we all know that there is something called expression of interest that we need to apply. We all know that online when we go to swayam.inflipnet.ac.in, we would be, type, we would be enter our detail and our proposal will go. We all know that, we need to develop a quadrant. We all know that we need to develop a script. We need to develop a video. We all know that we need to develop the reference material and we need to give that details to the CEC. But beyond that, now the national coordinators are saying that you all should be aware that it's not only developing MOOC that is important, but then you have to look into how the criteria are followed. Importantly, when you are in a studio, there are again important points. So here, whatever we have talked about, that is for the material. But when you are in a studio for recording, this is the third stage where we are saying video preparation. So whenever you are in a video preparation, what happens is when you are preparing a video, you are on a camera is there and the whole team is there. Okay, and many times because the whole script is not remembered, and so we are reading the scripts. Now, when you are reading the script, it is also important for you to look into that your eyelashes, it should be, very, very focused way, and it should be in association with the system. Because if it is not there, then, participants will feel that the presenter is reading, okay, and obviously, they will lose the interest. So that is also one of the very, very important aspect, right? So by now, I have discussed number one, proposal development. Number two, MOOC deliverables. And in that deliverables, quadrant one, quadrant two, quadrant three, quadrant four, what are the important points in that? Thirdly, we said about learner-centric MOOC. That is, developing MOOC, it's not all, but developing a learner-centric MOOC is very, very important. And fourthly and importantly, budget is very, very important. I tell you that UGC, this platform is giving a fantastic budget. Yesterday also I tell 13.5 lakhs for one MOOC, whether it is 2 credit, 3 credit, 4 credit, a lump sum and a very good handsome amount we are getting. The only expectation is to make it interesting, to make it live, to make it plagiarism free, to make it in a way so that the participants are more interested to do that. Now, another important thing than the budget is whenever as a coordinator, many times coordinator feel that, I'm not camera friendly and I need to have a good presenter. So when you are selecting a presenter, that time also as a coordinator, not only the camera team, but you also should be there, because you would be, able to understand that the MOOC that you are preparing, that is under your name. If Neelam Panchal has got that MOOC, that means it is a credibility of the Neelam Panchal. I might have involved 50 people in my MOOC, but then ultimately the responsibility will go to me. So whenever the presenters are selected, how is their eye movement, how is their pronunciation, okay, and how they are doing, that is again very, very important part that we need to understand. So the budget part, the video preparation part, the quadrant part, the learner-centric MOOC, and the development of the proposals. These are the very, very important areas that I wanted to touch upon. Now, beyond this, in nutshell, if I want to say that, that whenever you are developing this course material, I'll give you an example. It may happen that you are a faculty of the chemistry, or you are a faculty of psychology, or you are a faculty of commerce. You already know the subject. See, this is a C whereby when you are entering into the first time, whenever you are selecting the subject, select the subject in which you have hold, rather than selecting a subject just for proposing. Why? Because if you are selecting the subject in which you have little hold, you would be able to contribute more, rather than focusing more upon others, rather than relying more upon others. As a course coordinator, if you are good at that subject, you also would be able to involve yourself, and that would make 100% difference in the delivery part and the quality part of them, because now the focus is on the quality. No doubt in this webinar or workshop we are talking about how to develop it, but then those who are already in the development stage, those who are already having a MOOC in their hand, they should focus upon the quality, and those who are about to apply, they should focus upon the subject in which they are good at, they are interested into, they want to deliver. Why? Because when you know the subject, right, it is very, very easy for you to write about that subject. It is very easy for you to evaluate about something that has been written by somebody. Since if you don't know the subject, then how would you evaluate? It would be simply like subject expert has written something and you have assumed that it is fine and fantastic. You have just collected a plagiarism form and then you are tension free. But that is not our job. When the national coordinators and at the government level they are spending so much money, that means there is a huge objective. There are crores of students and the participants, not only students, the faculty members, the professionals, We all know that there are crores of the participants who are watching you, who are learning from you, right? And that is why it is all our duty to contribute fantastically in whatever we do. So this is in nutshell from my end, and I would also look into the question parts if there are any specific questions and any specific queries with reference to developing MOOC or proposing MOOC or quadrants, video preparation, learner-centric MOOC, or even the budgeting, whatever part we all three members have discussed jointly. If you have any query, you can connect to us. And specifically, I'm faculty of the BK School of Professional and Management Studies, Gujarat University. You can connect me on nilamcpanchal@gmail.com. And the other details I would definitely write down on this platform also. Thank you so much once again, UGC HRDC, Professor Jagdish Joshi, Professor Preeti Mayani, Professor CG Brahmbhatt, and the team members who are present right now with me. They're all good friends, and it's very happy to see Dr. Jadeja. We met at Chandigarh in course coordinators training, and that was again a fantastic training whereby we could learn this all about learner-centric MOOCs and what is the level in which the UGC is expecting us to go ahead. So whatever little knowledge we were having, we tried to give you all. And thank you so much once again.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am. Your session is very informative. First of all, as ma'am says, if any participant have any questions, just write down in comment box. Just write a resource person name dash your questions. You have the 5 to 10 minutes for the question answer. If you have any questions to any resource person, you can ask now. After that. I just want to thank you, Neelam Panchal ma'am. Your session is very much informative, and you are describe about learner motivation movement, means learner centric MOOC. Ma'am, actually, we are also in this webinar. We are trying to this learner centric webinar, so learner can make the interest, and we are inviting the resource persons like you all, and maybe there is a participant has a no questions, they're very useful sessions, they said that great thanks, and they have the message nice explanation ma'am. Maybe but they are all resource persons, just like your presentation with your expert speeches, so maybe participants have no questions rest after this three dynamic sessions. So maybe there is a no questions, but there is a comments are only very informative and useful, very nice, and just like that. So there is a no questions, but here I want to thank you, all three resource persons, behalf of our HRDC Gujarat University, behalf of our dynamic director Jagdish Joshi sir, and we are also thank you to dear all participants. Now you are the HRDC Gujarat University. Part of our Gujarat University HRDC team. So HRDC. So you are the also any time you can contact us on our website also HRDC Gujarat University. And here I want to thank our Vice Chancellor Dr. Himanshu Pandya sir, our Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Jagdish Bhavsar sir, and our Registrar Dr. PM Patel sir. So thank you very much to all. This time till this time there is no questions, but you all resource person can read also. Thanks for wonderful, mind-blowing, informative and useful sessions. So there is an achievement for us. So thank you very much. After these words, I can complete my words here. And namaskar after this webinar. Very much thankful to everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.